What up, YouTube? It's been a minute. Sorry for the wait. It's your boy Zulu Gutter. Like, share, subscribe, comment. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, indeed. But I want to kick it with y'all for a minute, man. Uh, let y'all know what's going on or what I'm seeing. I see how these occurrences are handled, and they're not handled correctly. Y'all not really getting the truth. Uh, even in death, well beyond bodily injury, even in death, bad behavior is excused. And I find that real contradicting. Um, it makes no sense. It makes no sense because if you tell the truth, if you analyze a situation, you play it from beginning to end and rewind it back as much as needed to go over key points, you would be able to come up with preventative uh preventative steps. But I think it's purposely done to where people make a trending topic and they avoid giving an answer or a solution. It's like they want this stuff to happen again when this stuff could be avoided. Now, I didn't know much about trouble. Didn't know much about him. Didn't even know it existed. Uh, and that's the truth. He wasn't that well known to me. If somebody knew him of him, you know, I just don't see it. If they say that they knew of him, I don't see it because I didn't even catch a buzz or any kind of following other gentlemen. But what I want to tell you is that we got a problem with holding men accountable just as much as they complain about women. Um, I put out various videos about holding men accountable. Uh, the biggest issue I have is that other men think it's okay to sleep with somebody else's woman. It is weird, very weird, and they think it's supposed to be no consequences behind that. They think they're supposed to just be able to be a smooth player, a smooth pimp, whatever kind of smooth operator type dude, and not have any consequences behind sleeping with somebody else's woman or sharing a woman, whatever. You know what I'm saying? You should not be sleeping with the same woman as another man, period. Point blank, period. And no matter how much I tell these guys that, they'll get into an argument, they'll try to reverse shame you. I'm about to invent the uh, RSBE, reverse shame, blame, explain. So when you tell a dude to do right, they want to call you a simp. You know what I'm saying? Because you told them to do right, at least have some type of moral character and compass and some standards. Now, it is predominant in the manosphere. Like they complain about women all day, a woman's nature, a woman's behavior, the bad things women do, and then they, like I said, they leave out the element of most of these women participate in these acts with other men. So they think that the other man is not to be factored in at some point. Like I said, the red pill is not just for understanding the nature of women. Uh, it's also just helping you recognize your enemies overall when you're trying to navigate the male female dynamic. And other men will be part of the problem as well. So you have to learn how to, you know, filter other men, in your quest to be the man that you need to be and to have, if you want to have one or more women in your life. But overall, we know self improvement and building up self and progress of self is the main objective. So I just don't get why these guys think it's okay to run around and not have some discretion, not have some type of protocol, not have some type of standard when it comes to being able to do what you need to do as a man. Nobody's telling you to not have the women that you want, but you can't have every woman. And some things are just off limits, and some things are just better left untouched. And we as men, we all have a divine instinct, a divine nature. It's in our DNA, it's in our genetics, our biology to be territorial. And that includes everything that we take care for, and we allow into our life. So, and we will get defensive about that. That is simple physics, based on nature. You know what I'm saying? That cause and effect can occur. Very simple. So these dudes think they can just go out here and just disrespect, you know, another man in any kind of way, shape, form, or fashion. They think the biggest way to not have any consequences. Well, let me rephrase that. Let me rephrase that. The biggest excuse, avoidance, and some type of explanation for sleeping with another man's woman is always put back on the other guy who the woman is either cheating on or whatever. They put the responsibility back on him, like he's not supposed to just have no say so in the matter, not supposed to do anything. And in all honesty, yeah, you don't want to ruin your life. You don't want to do anything to get yourself locked up, but you still got to say so in the matter, and you still, have respect, you know, and you have the right to demand, to be respected, whether it be her or whether it be, you know, the other dude. But the thing is, you still got to be careful of how you go about it. The best policy, true, is to just walk away. But we're not talking about you walking away. We're talking about the other dude who think it's cool just to do what he do, and that he'll never run into any confrontations. You know, me, I always do a man check. I tell dude this all the time. Dudes think I'm tripping. Like, no, this is the reason why you do a man check. Whether you're in a relationship or not, when you start dealing with a woman, you got to do a man check. I've been like this since I was in my 20s. That's one thing I was good at. I was good at doing man checks. Uh, and I avoided a lot of situations where me and the dude could get into a fight, some type of altercation. Somebody can succumb to some bodily injury or worse, being killed. I've always done that. In the black community, man, just has some real morals and principle problems. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of sleeping around in the black community in general. The black community is terrible. The American black community is horrible when it comes to family relationships. You know what I'm saying? Infidelity. That's even if you can form a family. You know what I'm saying? It's just too much sleeping around in the black community with no regard for any kind of manners or respect, none whatsoever. Uh, and you don't have to be in the streets. In all aspects, is very, very rampant. And this is the problem, you know, and this is going to continue to happen. It's going to continue to get worse. That's just on top of it's always something going on in Atlanta within the last month. Every other week or something happens in Atlanta. That's not the place to be right now. Uh, these rappers is making these millions and millions of dollars, and then they're getting locked up and getting killed. One or the other. Same for Chicago too. It, I just don't understand it. But what I want to tell you guys is, man, as much as they glorify being a player or a pimp and sleeping with a bunch of women. You can't sleep with every woman. And, I know they teach you about females choosing up and uh, you can't help what a female do, but you can at least do yourself a favor and do a man check. So that way you know whether she got another dude or not, and hopefully you can avoid, running into this dude where nothing like this happens. You got to do man checks, man, and you shouldn't be sleeping with uh, a woman that's sleeping with somebody else anyway. You shouldn't be sharing a woman, and that's not natural. That's not a part of nature either. As a man, like I said, we're territorial. We're supposed to have our own. But these guys don't want to tell you this. They want you to always excuse uh, bad behavior. I'm starting to think that these guys also condone dirty macking and hating. I'm really starting to think that. Uh, I'm gonna have to really go in depth. I can't really go too far right now because I'm on the clock, man. I just had a little break, man. It just been eating me up for the last 3 or 4 days about this, and I wanted to listen to see what people would say, but nobody is really stressing the fact that all this sleeping around uncontrollably without discretion has to stop. You at least, got to have some type of, like I said, some type of format behind you sleeping around. You know, people need to be single. People need to be free. People don't need to be messing with a bunch of different people at the same time. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, man. But it's your boy Zulu. Go like, share, subscribe, comment, man. I'm gonna get back at y'all later this evening.